All right, TP. So you're right now in the middle of rebuilding JG's bike for this weekend in St. Louis.
Yep.
When did this start? I mean, did you take me through after last weekend and when you came off the track in Detroit to now?
Yeah, so last weekend after Detroit, didn't do really anything to the bike. Just take like frame tape off, anything that's stuck to the frame sticker-wise, take that off. While the bike's hot, it's easier. And then load the bike up. B drove up here, and then I flew in yesterday, Wednesday. Got here at like 6 o'clock, and B, the truck driver, he already had my bike washed for me, so it makes it kind of nice. And I just came in last night, tore the bike down. That was pretty much it for last night, and then so got here this morning with everything disassembled, and then basically just go into scrubbing frame, swing arm, subframe, clean everything, inspect everything, and then this is kind of where we're at now, where everything is clean. And so yeah, so lay everything out, grease everything, make sure everything's all good to go, replace parts that need to be replaced, and then here in a little bit we'll just start throwing stuff together and have a dirt bike for the weekend.
So total time disassembly, you said about an hour?
Yeah, last night it's usually like right around an hour, a little over an hour to tear the bike completely down. I mean, we go pretty much as far down as a bike can possibly go every week. So, but yeah, it's usually if we were gonna do everything all in one day, tear down and rebuild all in one day, it's usually right around 12 hours.
Oh, really?
For a full. I mean, we can do it faster, but
why not? Just take the time.
Yeah.
So then, when it comes down to it, you know it, like every nut and bolt, everything's in its own place. So does having everything laid out in one spot just make it easy to keep track of where you're at and what you're doing? Or is it just, hey, that guy did it, I should do it too?
No, I mean, I like to have it all laid out, but I mean, you can have all this stuff like scrambled, and I can still grab a bolt and know exactly which bolt that is. I mean, like obviously you have all the same bolts here, but you know where each one of those can go, you know, but then there's certain bolts where it's a single one where you know, like, alright, that's for my Kickstarter, alright, that's for my front brake hose guide, and just stuff like that. So you know where everything goes, but it makes it easier and quicker, for me anyways, if I just have everything laid out, organized, and then so when I'm actually assembling stuff, I know like right where that bolt's at, and then you can just grab it and go. It's already greased and ready to assemble.
Alright, so you're right now running the red on certain bolts.
Yep.
What's the different greases that you use and what's their benefit?
I use a brown grease, which is high pressure grease, and then so anything that's a high torque value, I use the high pressure grease on. And then this is a high temp grease, and so I use that on basically anything that is just a low torque, basically just faster. And then the high pressure grease I use on the back of the bolt heads a lot too, that have a fairly decent torque. So just kind of, it's at our discretion on how we really want to grease the bolts or assemble how we want to, and then so each guy kind of has a different way of doing things, and different ways of greasing stuff. I know Crans does stuff a little bit different, but in the end it's pretty much all the same.
Cool. So then, when you're going on race day, every time I come by a bike's in some sort of tweak or shape or something like that, you guys are always working on it.
Yep.
Is there a rhyme or reason to what you do every time the bike comes off the track, or just what's needed or what's requested?
Yeah, I mean, if everything goes smooth and the rider doesn't go down and he's not complaining about anything, then you have your normal routine, you know. We throw a fresh chain on the bike every weekend, so you know after first practice, second practice, third practice, the chain's gonna be stretched. So that's usually one of the first things that I go to, adjusting the chain, get the proper tension, and then and then check spokes on the wheels. We've been cycling in new wheels halfway through the season, so you really got to make sure all your spokes are good each time it comes off the track. And then you just kind of bolt check everything. Usually after the bike goes out once, and it goes through like a good heat cycle and everything's kind of vibrated in, I just kind of run over like all the fasteners I can get to basically, and just make sure everything's still holding tight. And if you don't have to make a change, it's really a pretty easy day on race day. It's changing tires and putting fuel in it. That's really all about it is. So it's good.